Mr. Zeldin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I also thank Mr. Kaufman for reminding me. I have to double check. I'm pretty sure that I'm current with my American Legion dues as well. I don't want to get myself into trouble. Any American Legion veterans here from the state of New York? All right, there we go. We have a few. Thank you for your service. Well, I also want to thank Mr. Kaufman and Senator Blumenthal and Congressman Walz for their efforts on the issue that Mr. Kaufman just discussed. And I just want to re-emphasize that request to look into Mr. Kaufman's bill that he's planning on filing. I think that I was military intelligence, but then I became a prosecutor in the military. And I would say that a lot of our service members who we separate with less than honorable discharges, there is a connection between the circumstances that led to their separation and post-traumatic stress disorder. And the fact that they may have bad paper and can't go to their local hospital to diagnose and treat their post-traumatic stress disorder is problem number one, because it leads to other challenges for us to be able to take care of those veterans after their service. Furthermore, though, there is a service-connected disability, and there is a strong case for why their discharge status should actually be upgraded. And the key is the proposal that's being championed by Mr. Kaufman and Senator Blumenthal. So I thank them for their efforts, and I ask that you give it due consideration as they file it. I wanted to further get into the issue of post-traumatic stress disorder, and I see that you have an entire page 6 of your agenda dedicated to this issue. I want to know, what are you seeing around the country as far as community-based peer support that is working? And I'd like to share some thoughts on what we're doing in New York that's working, but what are you seeing around the country that you have in mind on page 6?
Well, I've had the thrill, and I've been to Saratoga with your horse training, where the things. I've been to Montana, where they go up into the mountains, and when a service member has to connect and survive, and it can take his mind off of his signature wounds, and do that. Those are the type things that are making a difference in that therapy. And so I am so glad that you're going to, and we're going to support your reference to this PTSD. So many of our soldiers have that, and it's just a signature wound. It should not be surprising, and they should not be discriminated because we have put them in that situation. Our nation owes that to those servicemen to do what's right and not punish them again for their sacrifice to this nation.
And Commander, you bring up a couple of great points. One, as you reference horses, we've seen it with dogs, with other animals, having access for our vets because their family, their friends, people at work may not understand what it is that they are going through, and the strength of that bond that they may form, as you see in Saratoga with horses, or what we have more locally on the east end of Long Island where I am, with veterans who have dogs. They are finding someone to help them cope. Something else that you said, though, in referencing Saratoga, is that in New York State we created something called the PFC Joseph Dwyer Peer Support Program. Now, I would ask the American Legion that your New Yorkers are definitely very much aware the program started in 4 counties. One was my home county of Suffolk. One was Saratoga, Rensselaer, and Jefferson County. Started in 4 counties, it's now expanded to over a dozen. The key is that you take a veteran, you put him in the same room as maybe 8 or 10 other veterans going through PTSD. You have a trained mentor, and it is so efficient. We serve hundreds of veterans in Suffolk County, and we have a whole lot of veterans who credit this program for saving their lives. You know how much it costs in Suffolk County? $200,000. $200,000 is serving several hundred veterans in my home county and saving lives. The key is the peer support. People don't realize that there are veterans going through exactly what they're going through in their home community. And we need to be able to connect everyone together. I thank you all for what you do, for dedicating the entire page and so much of your agenda to fighting for our veterans coming home to mental wounds of war, and I yield back.